Welcome to NFL Talk. We've got an interesting matchup coming up this week with the Buffalo Bills taking on the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, it should be a good one. Even though the Colts haven't had the best season.
Well, they're trying to, get back to .500 right now.
Right.
They're 4-5.
And the Bills are at the top of the AFC East.
7-2.
Yeah, they are rolling. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure. Vegas thinks it's going to be a close one, though. Only giving the Bills a 4-point spread.
I think that just shows how much respect the Colts get, even with their record, They've played the Bills tough in the past.
Oh, yeah, they've won 2 of their last 3 against the Bills.
Yeah, so anything can happen.
That's true. But these Bills are looking real strong this year. They're on a winning streak trying to clinch that AFC East.
Yeah, their magic number's 5.
Any combination of Bills wins and Jets losses adding up to 5 in the division is theirs.
It's a good spot to be in.
Yeah, exactly. The Colts, though, they're hoping to play spoiler a little bit here.
Right. They're hoping Joe Flacco can step up and lead them to an upset. And they do have home field advantage at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah, they've won their last 3 straight there.
Which could give them a boost for sure.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about some of those key player matchups that could really decide this game. James Cook is a name that jumps out to me. I think he's primed for a big game, especially considering how much the Colts have struggled against the run this year.
Oh, absolutely, Liam. They have given up 120 or more rushing yards in multiple games.
Yeah, and Cook's averaging almost 56 yards a game.
7 touchdowns already.
Yeah, so this could be his game to really break out.
Especially with the Colts missing Ryan Kelly, their center.
Oh, yeah, he's out with an injury.
Yeah, and they're starting rookies in his place. So that's a big advantage for the Bills' defensive line.
Yeah, no doubt. Guys like Ed Oliver could really have a field day.
For sure.
But even with that strong defensive line, the Bills have shown some cracks. Josh Allen, he's thrown interceptions in back-to-back games and fumbled a couple of times recently, too.
Yeah, turnovers are going to be key in this game. The Colts, they need to force mistakes if they want to win this one.
Yeah, their turnover differential is only +2 compared to +11 for the Bills.
So they got to win that turnover battle.
Big time. Now, the Colts, they're going to be looking to Jonathan Taylor to establish that run game.
Oh, absolutely.
He's actually on the verge of passing Lenny Moore for 5th on the Colts' all-time rushing list.
Wow.
A big game against the Bills would help him get there.
For sure. If he can get going early, it takes the pressure off Flacco and keeps that Bills offense off the field.
Exactly.
It's strength versus strength, the Colts running game against that Bills defensive front.
Yeah, whoever wins that battle could win the game. But we can't forget about that Bills passing attack either.
Oh, right. Josh Allen, one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in the league.
Even with Keon Coleman and Amari Cooper maybe not playing, they still have Stephon Diggs.
Right. And Khalil Shakir has been surprisingly good.
He's caught 42 out of 45 passes thrown his way.
That's amazing.
Over 93% completion rate when targeting him.
Can the Colts secondary contain all of that? That's the big question.
Right. They've been inconsistent this year.
They'll need to limit those big plays and force Allen to be patient.
Sounds like this game's going to come down to a battle of styles. The Bills' high-powered offense against that Colts' run-first approach.
I think that's a good way to put it.
So do you think the Colts can pull off the upset? Or will the Bills just keep marching towards the playoffs?
It's a tough one. The Colts, they're at home. They're desperate. They always play the Bills tough. But the Bills are on a roll. I think it'll be close, but I'm picking the Bills.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the Bills too, but I agree. It could be a nail-biter. The Colts always have the potential to make it a battle.
For sure.
All right, so we've talked about some of the overall storylines now. Let's dive into some specifics.
Okay, sounds good.
What are some of the key areas that you think will really determine the outcome of this game?
Well, we've already touched on the Colts' offensive line.
Yeah, with Ryan Kelly out.
Right, and how that's a huge advantage for the Bills. I think they're going to try to exploit that weakness right away. Lots of blitzes, stunts, trying to confuse those rookie replacements and get pressure on Flacco.
Yeah, and if they get that pressure consistently, it'll really disrupt the entire Colts offense.
Exactly. Flacco will have to get rid of the ball quickly. Could lead to turnovers. Jonathan Taylor won't have any running lanes.
Right, but on the flip side, if the Colts offensive line can hold up,
even for a little bit,
it'll give Taylor a chance to get going, and if he gets going, it changes everything.
Oh, yeah, momentum shifts.
Completely keeps Josh Allen and that Bills offense on the sideline.
Yep.
So that battle in the trenches is going to be huge.
Absolutely. One of the biggest keys to the game.
Okay, so let's talk about that Bills passing attack against the Colts secondary.
Right.
Josh Allen, like we said, one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the league.
He is.
And he still has weapons, even without Coleman and Cooper.
Right. Diggs, Shakir, those guys can make plays.
But can the Colts secondary contain them?
That's a tough one. They've had some good moments, but also some real lapses.
Yeah, they've given up some big plays.
And against a guy like Allen who can extend plays and throw all over the field.
Those big plays can be backbreakers.
Exactly.
So what do the Colts have to do to slow them down?
Well, pressure is key.
Mm.
They can't let Allen just sit back there comfortably.
Right, they got to disrupt his rhythm.
Yeah, force him to make quick decisions.
Easier said than done, though.
Oh, yeah. Allen's so good at avoiding pressure, making plays on the run. But they got to try.
And what about coverage? How are they going to approach Diggs and Shakir?
I think they'll try to double-team Diggs and force Allen to look elsewhere.
That makes sense. But that could leave Shakir in some one-on-one matchups.
Yeah, especially if Cooper's out.
So the Colts secondary can't afford to let Shakir beat them consistently?
No, I can't.
So it sounds like the key for the Colts defense is to create some chaos, force some turnovers, limit those big plays.
Yeah, play disciplined football and capitalize on any mistakes the Bills make.
And for the Bills, it's about staying focused, executing the game plan, and taking care of the football.
Yep, if they can do that, they should be in good shape.
All right, so what's your official prediction for this game?
I think it's going to be close, but I'm going with the Bills 27-20.
Okay.
I think their offense is just too much for the Colts to handle.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the Bills too. I'm going to go a little bit higher, though. I think they might win a bit more convincingly, 31-17 Bills.
Okay.
I think that offense is just too explosive for the Colts to keep up with.
Yeah, that's fair. They certainly have the potential to put up a lot of points.
All right, so predictions locked in. Now let's talk about some individual performances. On the Bills side, I'm really curious to see how James Cook does.
Me too, Liam. I think he has a chance to have a monster game.
And for the Colts, all eyes will be on Joe Flacco.
Right? Can he bounce back from last week and deliver a vintage performance?
It's a tough matchup for him against that Bills defense.
Sure.
And speaking of tough defenses, we can't forget about DeForest Buckner on the Colts.
Oh, yeah. He's so close to breaking that Colts sack record.
Just 2 sacks away from passing Chad Bradsky for 5th on the Colts all-time list.
He could really disrupt that Bills offense.
All right, so let's have some fun. Give me a bold prediction for this game.
Okay, here's a bold one. I think the Colts defense is going to force Josh Allen into multiple turnovers.
Whoa.
I know he's been good at protecting the ball, but I think the Colts' desperation, they're going to be bringing the pressure.
Yeah, that is bold, but I could see it happening. All right, my bold prediction, Jonathan Taylor's going to rush for over 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Wow. You think so?
I think he's due for a breakout game, and the Colts are going to feed him the ball all night.
Okay, that would be a huge performance.
All right, so bold predictions are out there. Any final thoughts for our listeners about this Bills-Colts matchup?
I just think people shouldn't sleep on the Colts just because of their record. They're a tough team. They always play the Bills hard. It could be a lot closer than people think.
Yeah, and for the Bills, this is a chance for them to really prove themselves.
Right. They need to show they can win these tough games against good teams.
All right, so there you have it, folks. Bills-Colts, Week 10.
Should be a good one.
Definitely a game to watch.
Can't wait. You know, it's interesting. When you look at these two teams, their offensive philosophies are so different.
Yeah, you got the Bills who love to air it out.
Josh Allen with that cannon.
Spread the field, chuck it deep.
And then the Colts, they're more of a run-first team.
Jonathan Taylor, the workhorse.
It's like old school football versus that modern high-flying offense.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which style wins out.
Will the Bills just outscore them? Or will the Colts control the clock, keep the Bills' offense off the field?
Big questions.
And this game is huge for both teams.
But for different reasons.
Exactly. The Bills, they need to keep this momentum going.
Stay on track for that top seed in the AFC.
Home field advantage throughout the playoffs. That's the goal.
But the Colts, they need this win to stay in the playoff hunt.
They've had a rough season so far. A win against a team like the Bills would be huge.
Especially at home.
It could turn their whole season around.
Give them that confidence boost.
But it's not going to be easy. The Bills are playing really well right now.
So we've talked about the matchups, the styles, the stakes. Any other storylines that you're interested in?
Well, I'm really curious to see what Joe Flacco can do.
Yeah, he's got something to prove.
He's been through a lot in his career, ups and downs. This is his chance to show he can still be the guy.
Lead the Colts to an upset. That would be a story.
And for the Bills, they want to prove they're more than just a regular season team.
Right. They've been dominant, but they haven't had that deep playoff run.
So there's some pressure there.
They need to show they can win the big games.
A convincing win on the road against a tough Colts team that would make a statement.
All right, well, this has been a great look at this Bills-Colts matchup.
It's going to be a fascinating one.
Definitely must watch.
Can't wait to see how it plays out.
All right, before we go, let's talk a little fantasy football.
Okay, yeah. Fantasy implications for this game.
James Cook, he's looking like a must start.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Colts' run defense has not been good, and he could have a huge game.
Absolutely. He's been scoring touchdowns left and right.
Joe Flacco, though, I'd be a little hesitant to start him.
Yeah, I'd probably stay away.
Tough matchup against that Bills defense.
And he hasn't been playing that well.
Now, a sleeper pick for this game. I kind of like Khalil Shakir.
Oh, yeah, he could be interesting.
Especially if Cooper's out, he could see a lot of targets.
He's been so efficient when they do throw to him.
Jonathan Taylor's another one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, he's been up and down, but he has that potential to just go off.
If the Colts are playing from behind, they might have to feed him the ball.
And if he gets going, look out.
All right. Any other fantasy advice for our listeners?
Just do your research, trust your gut, and have fun.
Well said. And for all the NFL fans out there, make sure you tune in for this Bills-Colts game.
It's going to be a good one.
High stakes, a lot of storylines.
Clash of styles.
Should be a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely.
All right, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
We'll see you next time for more NFL talk.
See ya.
Goodbye, and see you in the next video.